Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we are talking Halloween Havoc. It happened yesterday. We had a lot of wrestling yesterday that I just was in love with. We obviously had Grand Dynasty at Marigold. If you haven't checked that out, you need to at least watch the last three matches, which I'll have a video on it itself too. But I wanted to jump into Halloween Havoc. Honestly, it was one of those cards that was like really stacked and was looking like it was going to be good, but a lot of these some of these smaller PLE type things, not a lot happens, and you just kind of like, oh, I mean, I was happy, but no, this was a change. This definitely changed up and spiced up the entire, pretty much a lot of the different storylines because stuff that didn't work, I think, will get changed, and stuff that did work, hopefully, will then make a difference. But we'll talk about it when we go into each one. So, off the bat, we had Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus El Park, I don't know if I said it wrong the first time, and Mr. Iguana. This one actually was disappointing to me. Like, I feel like Leon and Evans, they have insane chemistry and are hopefully going to be a tag team that they use later down the line. I think it's perfect for both of them. But this one just kind of felt like they missed a lot of spots. Both, I mean, all four of them did, but especially these two that are on the younger side, but like they have been more consistent. This is probably my least favorite Javon Evans match that I've had this entire year. He's had nothing but stellar matches, but this match just kind of fell short. I kind of felt like it wasn't anything crazy, and then like even Mr. Iguana's antics that tried to like do some stuff kind of just felt overacted on the other side and just kind of felt lame. I don't know. It felt like none of this worked out for them, especially for having a 17-minute tag like a match compared to some of the other matches that were smaller than this. This was just one of those things where it's just I don't know. I'm gonna put it down and see. I feel like it definitely was better than some other stuff that happened, but I really just couldn't put it much higher than that. Then we go to a Day of the Dead match. This was for the NXT North American title. Ethan Page versus Dr. Ragnar Jr. Now, this is how you just have a good match. They had a great build to this. And the Day of the Dead match just kind of felt more like a hardcore match. I'm cool with whatever you want to call it. It was really brutal. I mean, obviously with the masks ripping and just their back and forth. I mean, Ethan Page got busted open, and Ethan Page just continues to be that underestimated guy. Like he just goes in there. He's like that definition of that has the skill in the ring, on the mic, and the aura. He has all of it, and he just needs to be locked and loaded to honestly just be at NXT at this point because I think he's done a lot there, and this match was great. I'm gonna put it up in A. Definitely felt like the two had a good time together. It felt like a little bit of the spots could have been shortened a little bit, but honestly, not really complaining. A is a great way to be put on this thing. Basically, like when I feel like I put something in the A, it's like this is a good match. If you haven't seen it, watch it. S tier is like you gotta watch it. This is like a watch again type thing. So that's kind of where I kind of felt like I probably would never watch it again, but if you haven't seen it, I'd definitely check it out. Then we had the women's North American title. It was Blake Monroe versus Zarya. Zarya was a replacement for Soul. Honestly, this match really didn't feel like there was much to it. Unfortunately, I just felt like they were telling the story, which was cool, but like they gave them so little time that I don't think they ever got the match done. It was 11 minutes. Honestly, would have pulled a couple off of that first match and gave it to this match because it just felt like they rushed it. And the best spot was when Soul pushed her into the thing to like put her arm back in place, and we thought maybe she was turning on her like to injure her further so she couldn't compete, but she actually helped her. It just that was the greatest part of the match, and other than that there's nothing else that you really think about other than Zarya losing. It just kind of felt like she was distracted, and I know that's what the story they're telling, and it's probably a way to get Soul to the main roster without having her lose all those titles, but it just wasn't it for me. So I'm gonna put it up in C. I have a feeling that the story they're gonna tell is that at some point somebody's gonna challenge Soul for the speed title, and then she's not going to be available. Zarya's like, well, I'll step in and do it, and then Soul won't do it because she already lost her one title. So maybe that's where they're going for it. I guess we'll see. Then we had Jace versus Tatum Paxley. This actually worried me because I really wanted Tatum Paxley to win, but I was really worried because it was like, this isn't the co-main event, and like this is a little too early to be on the card, but it didn't matter. Tatum Paxley won. They had a little bit of shenanigans at the end with it looked like Izzy Dane was going to take out Tatum, but missed, and maybe she was going to take out Jace, you never know. I don't know. It was a little bit of a wonky spot because they didn't really like do it well enough that Izzy looked like she was going to take out Jace. I think they should have done it a little bit where Tatum didn't see her until the last minute, and then like she misses, and maybe it looks like she was going for Jace, but it gets destroyed. I don't know. It was still a really good match for Tatum Paxley. I absolutely just so happy they pulled the trigger on her. This was just a phenomenal idea to do because it just, as you can see, Tatum Paxley has some really good in-ring skills, and she goes outside the ring just as well. So I'll put this in B. Solid title match. Nothing more really to say about it. Then we go to the NXT Tag Team Championships match. It was a broken rules match. Basically, it felt like tables, ladders, and chairs and craziness. This is Dark State versus the Broken Hardys. I never really got into the broken gimmick of the Hardys. Nothing against like knowing if it's good or bad. I just never seen it. So like to me, it just kind of feels random and out of the blue. But this match had a lot of brutality of like jump offs and stuff. But man, it just, I think a lot of it suffered from a lot of different things. I think one, the match was way too long. The spots, even though some of them were crazy, didn't look that good because neither team really seemed to have it together. I think Dark State's a little too green in certain areas, and the Hardys are a little too old, so it just kind of just made for a wonky match. I personally just kind of watched it, but my brain was just mush. It was like turnover, just whatever is going on, it's fine type of thing. It just wasn't it for me. I'm gonna put it down in D. I also thought it was insane that they Dark State won the titles back. I was like, oh, but why? What was the whole point of the Hardys getting it? That's just nostalgia glazing at that point because they literally did nothing with it. They didn't even really get the chance to even defend it against an NXT team or two to make it look good. Like that's the whole point. They should have had that at least for like a month or two and then had them lose to the Dark State again if they wanted. I'm pretty sure they're putting it back on the Dark State. They'll maybe run through OTM and some other stuff and then lose it to Javon and Leon if they decide to do that. But man, just not it for me. Then it goes into Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. This definitely felt like a last hurrah for Trick Williams. It felt like they're really just this was his last match and he's going to the main roster. I really hope so because this match just really wasn't it. I don't really know what it was. I think maybe just the chemistry between the two men with Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. They just really weren't on the same page. The whole thing just kind of felt like everybody was just chasing around each other and it just really didn't have anything crazy, like I feel like they just really didn't get into that gear for how long the match was. I mean, we're talking about a nearly 17-minute match, and there's not many spots in it that you were like even remotely rememberable because it was just like they just kind of went out there and got the job done and left. This would have been perfectly fine if this would have been like the second match on the card or maybe even the opening. You'd be like, okay, well they were just trying to get this match done to get Trick up to the main roster and let Ricky Saints move on to something else because there's no unfinished business left. But I don't know. This was just not it for me. I'm gonna put it down in D. I think the last two matches were a dud, and it kind of just felt like this whole thing was out of place. If I was building the card, not even in hindsight, but beforehand, I definitely would have had the main event with Tatum and Jace. Then you probably could have put Saints and Trick. I definitely would have even Page up there towards the top. Probably let off with the tag team titles or let off with the Blake Monroe match just because of the hype it got, and then go into like the other men's tag, like the two tag matches back to back or something. Because honestly, it just felt like it's all over the place this way, and it just didn't have the right vibes. But hey, I think overall, I'd still put this PLE at like a C plus. It really wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Cage Match had it at a 6.8. I saw, which isn't the worst thing that we've seen. They really brutalized the two in the end, also, so that definitely didn't help. But I think overall, I mean, C plus isn't the worst thing for like a small PLE. But then when you go and then I watched Grand Dynasty after this, I was like, oh yeah, I probably put this even lower. So I had to like digest and then do the review because if I did it right after I watched Grand Dynasty, which one it would have been like 5 in the morning, but I probably would have this card would have probably been a lot more worse because it just felt like when you see other like actual technical wrestling and stuff, and then you watch like WWE's product where they don't hit on all cylinders, it really stands out. Because there's other times stuff hits great. I mean, I still thinking about the Io Sky WrestleMania match and her match last night at Grand Dynasty, and it's like this is the same person, but they feel like different matches, but they both feel like top tier 5-star matches. So I don't know. This is kind of one of those things. But if you guys like these reviews, we do it for all the events and stuff. And next up would be Gold Rush, which will have Evolve, AAA, and TNA on top of 2 weeks of craziness. So that should be pretty fun. Until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.